Hi, my name's Chris and welcome to the Compulsive Canadian Gamer. We are here today for an unboxing of the Xbox One S system. I just picked this up today. To be honest, I wasn't really intending on picking one up. I am a hardcore gamer. If you follow our blog, you've seen, I kind of do reviews on games from all platforms. I wasn't really planning on picking up an Xbox One S. I already have an Xbox One, so there wasn't a whole lot of motivation to pick one of these up. That is until Sony's press conference that took place on the 7th. I was sort of eagerly awaiting the announcement of their new PlayStation, they're calling it now PlayStation 4 Pro. Up until the conference it was the PlayStation 4.5 or Neo. And everybody sort of just presumed that the system was going to have a 4K Blu-ray player in it, or an Ultra HD Blu-ray player. And for whatever reason, even though Sony owns the technology, Sony owns the patent for it, Sony created Ultra HD, they didn't include one in their new PlayStation. So sadly, they've kind of driven some of their longtime fans into the arms of the competition. So I was in the market for a 4K Blu-ray player, and unfortunately Xbox One S is the only one that's offering that right now. Why Sony made this decision, I honestly don't know. I've done a pile of reading across the web. There doesn't seem to be any logical reason for it. A lot of people said price. Thing is, the base model for the Xbox One S is $299. The PlayStation 4 Pro is $399. It's $100 more, and unfortunately the player in it is inferior. That's not to say that the PlayStation 4 Pro doesn't have a lot of benefits over the Xbox One S. It's got a significantly faster processor. It's got 4.5 teraflops of graphics processing power versus the 1.8 that used to be that is in the current PlayStation 4. So there is a lot of benefit to the console, except the one feature that I was most looking forward to is absent. So let that sort of be a precursor to this unboxing, that if you are looking for something, if you're looking for honestly a cheap Ultra HD player, if you got a 4K TV at home, this is kind of your cheapest option. Next closest thing on the market is $499, $699. Samsung has a UHD player, Panasonic has one out there. But this, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, there is sort of a cheap model available. One of the big upsells to the Xbox One S as well is significantly smaller. It uses a lot less power. The power brick that used to be, the size of, a cinder block is, rather tiny, and you'll see that here in a few minutes. But the console is smaller, it runs cooler, there isn't a whole lot more power to it. From what I understand, it's pretty much identical to the other hardware that was there, other than the fact that it will upscale games to a full 4K resolution. Console can also do HDR, which is sort of this new high definition lighting. So I won't get into that here. If you're interested in HDR, definitely go check it out. It makes a huge difference in contrast ratio. Like if you're looking at a scene where the sun is behind me, and when you leave the house or when somebody's standing in your doorway and the sun is behind them, you can't really see their face. HDR allows you to still see that sort of contrast and be able to pick up the details that are in shadows or that are in typically high contrast environments. That's just the layman's version of this. But if you want to know more about HDR, definitely go check it out. It's pretty cool technology. So that's one of the bigger upsells to the console, is you can actually do HDR gaming. So developers going forward will have to enable that in their games. Apparently that is one thing that the console offers a little bit more power for, is Microsoft has unlocked, I guess, a certain amount of CPU cycles that can be used for the HDR processing. So where you wouldn't necessarily have that on the standard edition Xbox One, you will get that on the One S. But other than that, the consoles are pretty much identical. I do own an Xbox One already that I'll probably be selling off. I was kind of planning on selling it after Gears came out. I play most of my games and just trade them. I'm not a collector at all, so start to finish story, out the door. So that was kind of my intention, but they sort of announced that Halo Wars is coming in the spring, and there's some other titles coming, later in the spring. So I decided, you know what, this is the right time to pick up the console. I'll grab it now and be done with it. All right, but without further ado, let's crack this open and see what we can see. The good huge plastic seals on here. Kind of like dual layer because there's the box itself has a sleeve on it. There are 3 models of the Xbox One S that are available. There is a 500 gig model, there's a 1 terabyte model, and a 2 terabyte model. So up here in Canada, this model itself is $399. This is the 500 gig model. So the 500 gig version, it comes with Halo 5 as well as the Master Chief Collection, which is kind of nice. Master Chief Collection is DLC only. The Halo 5 Guardians is physical disc, which is kind of nice. I've already played through it, so I don't really have a whole lot of need to have Halo again, because I highly doubt that I will be playing it a second time. But it is available. There is also, I believe, a FIFA version that is out. It's either out or coming out right away for the 500 gig console as well, the one for $399. There is also the 1 terabyte, I don't believe comes with any games. And then there is the 2 terabyte definitely doesn't come with any games. The 1 terabyte is, what is it up here? $450, $449, and $499 for the 2 terabyte edition. All right, so there is your Halo Guardians, physical media, Xbox One exclusive. There's your Halo Master Chief card. That's got your code if you want to download it. We've also got 14 days of Xbox Live, which is pretty standard for most Xbox consoles. They usually give you 2 weeks or a month of free live. They want to get you hooked. First hit is free. Alright, get the box out of the way here. So I don't have my Xbox One up here for comparison, and I kind of wish I did. Because from the pictures I've seen, this little guy is way, way smaller. I can see that already. He is quite tiny compared to his big fat Gen 1 console. Alright, so this right here is the Xbox One S 500 gig. So it is, you've got the fan perforated for the fan here to be cooling. That should definitely help. I didn't really find too many problems with the Xbox One, to be completely honest. I didn't have any overheating issues or anything. So I don't think it's, I don't understand the move to sort of this perforated top. It looks kind of cool though. Alright, one of the big bonuses is this guy does not come with a power brick at all. You get just a standard power cable, plugs right into the back. Power supply is over here, contained in this little corner here. So that's one of the huge bonuses. You also got a high-speed HDMI cable that comes with it, and as well the sort of fancy new white Xbox controller. This is identical, other than color. This is identical to the previous version. You also get 2 batteries in the box as well, so kind of no frills. I'm going to bring this over so that you guys can see the ports on the back. There is 2 HDMI connections here.
I'll just hold this up so that you guys can see, get that into focus. So there's an HDMI in and out. There are two USB ports on the back. There's also an infrared port here for an IR blaster. You have the SPDIF optical connection, and then your network connection. And then power over here on this side. So if you want a close-up view of this, it's just a nice little slit for the drawer, or for the CD in here. Got to admit, the lines of this are really nice and clean. You know, you got more ventilation down the side on this side as well as over here. So I don't know how loud these things are yet. I haven't actually fired it up. So look forward to my review of the console itself. I will be posting that probably within the next week. If you want to head on over to the compulsivecanadiangamer.com, I will have I'll have the review up on there, just sort of early impressions and stuff. Picked up Quantum, what the heck is it called again? Quantum Break to check out, as well as on Tuesday's Recore. That's kind of one of my main motivations for picking this up. I'd like to see what Recore looks like. I do have if you've taken a look at some of my other videos, I do show my theater off in the Vive setup video that I have. I actually game in a home theater downstairs. So I've got a 4K projector down there. So this guy's going to be hooked up to the 4K projector, and I'll give you some impressions of how that looks. It isn't a true 4K projector. It is a JVC, it's JVC X500R, which, you know, we kind of call Faux, F-A-U-X, Faux, that does this 4K lens shift, so it kind of doubles the resolution. Industry says though that these E-shift projectors, they look very, very similar to 4K. Like, most people can't tell the difference. So the difference is about $6,000 in price. So this was a good enough projector to kind of get by with this guy. So I'll also be checking out some UHD content next week, and I will throw up some impressions of that as well. I'm going to try pick up a disc of something else that I have on normal Blu-ray and kind of do a side-by-side comparison, and let you guys know from there. Alright, thanks for tuning in to the Compulsive Canadian Gamer. Check us out on YouTube. We're up on Facebook, and as I mentioned, compulsivecanadiangamer.com. Thanks, have a great night.